right? You have a lot of turnover, possibly. Kelsey may be finished.
Where I'm looking up average life expectancy. I'm dreaming at this point. Like, I can't. I'm done with the season.
What's the next evolution of Pat Mahomes? And it's weird to be talking about a guy like, what's the next evolution of Pat Mahomes, and he's not 30. You could be anywhere doing anything, but you're hanging out with us, and we appreciate that. So wherever you're listening and however you're listening, we appreciate you guys for listening. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of the Game Plan Podcast. Alex Goodwin is my name. You can follow me on Twitter at Alex Goodwin TSM. Again, that's on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Alex Goodwin TSM. That's T as in tacos, S as in sangria, M as in margaritas. Kennedy Miller, my dog.
What's going on, fellas? Glad I can finally be on here for a finals recap.
Man, it's good to see you, big dog. It is good to see you. You was down bad early in the week, man. But Ken,
I was down bad.
It's good to see you. What you about to say, Ken?
No. I was just gonna say where they can follow me. You can follow me on Twitter. Yes, at _ Kennedy Miller _. Again, that's _ Kennedy Miller _.
All right. Once again, joining us, Sinlaw Preps, best high school sports writer, I'd say, in the entire damn state of Louisiana. Shout out to the boot, Lamar Gafford, friend of the show. How you doing tonight, man?
Man, it feels pretty good. It feels great for a change that I am not stressed about one of the final series, unlike yourself, Mr. Goodwin.
See, why you got to do me like that? Why you got to do me like that? But I will say that is a perfect segue because I said S as in sangria. I probably should have said S as in stressed, or S as in I need to sit down, or S as in this series gonna make me have a stroke or a heart attack or something. Because my S San Antonio Spurs are in the NBA Finals, and we got a dub tonight. We won 115-111. Victor Wembanyama, 32 points, 12-18 shooting, 2 for 4 from the 3-point line. So, Ken, I'm going to ask you this. Victor struggled first 2 games in the series really to get comfortable offensively, to get to his spots. What did the Spurs really do to get him comfortable, to get him in a rhythm earlier in the game?
Well, I think he is turning into, like, his catch radius around the rim is amazing. So, like, the lob threat level that he has, like, when in doubt, we can just throw it by the rim. And you can, like, there were at least 3 or 4 plays tonight where, like, Fox is getting downhill, Harper's getting downhill, and, like, they just throw it up towards the rim, and he can catch it one hand, tip in, catch it, corral it, and finish. Like, those looks, and, you know, they might not be considered easy, but they're around the rim. For him to catch that and see it go in, and then, like you point out, to only shoot 4 threes, he was able to kind of get some feel. And then, I want to say with like 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Knicks got the Spurs were in the bonus.
Yeah.
Right. So he goes 6 or 7 from the free throw line, I want to say tonight. So he was able to get to the free throw line, knock down some free throws. But man, I thought they did a good job. I thought the Spurs also did a good job of playing Brunson straight up, and just living with some of his shots, and they made it very difficult on him. But I mean, shout out to Wemby. That was like tonight was a best in the world performance. Like, the series is not over entirely just yet. We're going to go on the road in Madison Square Garden where the atmosphere was electric. And basically, they withstood a punch from the Spurs from the Knicks in the second quarter. I think they gave up 42 points in the second quarter.
A 14-3 run to close the quarter.
Yeah, they gave up 42 points, and they withstood that run. And basically, they kind of controlled the game for the most part. Like, the Knicks hit some big shots down the stretch, but for the Spurs to come back, withstand that punch, and win in this game 3, this was a big win. Shout out to Wemby. Shout out to Fox. I was about to criticize him today, but he made a shot down the stretch. He made a big shot down the stretch to put them up 5. What I want to say, like 40 something seconds left.
It was like 12.
Was it 12?
Yeah, that was basically our game-winning bucket. Yeah, because Brunson had just hit a 3 to cut it.
Yes, he did. You're right. Big time shot by him, because I was about to get on here and the trade De'Aaron Fox posters were about to come out. But yeah, shout out to the Spurs. I think this is shaping up to be an all-time great final series. I think I'm probably gonna go on a limb and say whoever wins game 4 is probably gonna win this series. So shout out to the Spurs tonight though. They did it.
Yeah, it was just overall a great performance there by Wemby. He came in there, he said, "Look, I have to play better after these first 2 games of the series. I have to do much better." I mean, and you could see from the first couple of games where he had good stats there, but just could not get the one play that was needed just to give the Spurs that win. Well, tonight he took that. And the crazy part again is he's only 22 years old. This is probably the biggest atmosphere that he's been in. Of course, he's played in MSG before. Did a Christmas game over there, and I was able to also have a very big night. But with just everything, the Knicks, their fans, they're just so excited about it. They're hoping to try to go up to 3-0. The city was electric. The crowd is electric in there for reasons. And for him to really have himself a big night there, that just says a lot there about that. I have to give credit to the Knicks. They did a very solid job tonight as well, where the Spurs got up by double digits. The Knicks came back, even took the lead at one point in the game there. Brunson hit some big shots here and there. OG Anunoby was also very solid too, but the
Man,
Spurs just withstood everything, and you have to really give that to them. Their leader basically just said, "Look, we're not losing. We're not going down 3-0 tonight, and we're at least gonna go back to San Antonio and to give ourselves another chance to possibly win this series."
Think for me, the most important thing that I think happened tonight was Victor played in the way that you wanted him to, right? You're like, all right, if Victor's going to take 18, 19, 20 shots, where the shots, like the shot distribution, that's really important because I think there are times when Victor falls in love with being near at the 3-point line. And it's like, no, for me at least, as tall as he is and as gifted as he is, and some of the other things that he can do with the ball being as tall as he is, right? I think that that's cute and all, right? But Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, Vassell, Champagny, yeah, they can shoot all the threes in the world, right? But only you are damn near 8 feet tall. Only you are 7'5.5". Only you can do certain things, right? Only you can be that big, that tall, and be that much of a force near the rim if you want to be, right? But I think like that's part of it. And I think what he did tonight was like, all right, most of it was free throw lining down, right? But I think Mitch got him in a rhythm really early, right? Early lobs, early actions, get him some easy shots. Because I think in game 2, he took 4 shots in the first half?
Yes.
It was 4 shots, right? Now, ultimately, he came with it in the second half, but it's like, hey, man, you're our best player. If you're not the best player on the floor, hey, man, we probably don't have that much of a shot. And I think here's the crazy part. Victor in this series is averaging like 29 and 12. And we're looking at him like he's not playing that great. Like, that's how high I think this dude's ceiling is. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's averaging 29 and 12, and we're like, yeah, offensively, he still has a ways to go. And I think that part is he doesn't have a go-to move yet, right? Like he doesn't have a move that he's put to memory where this gets him in the flow of the game, or hey, I need a bucket right here. I'm struggling. Boom, here it is, right? Brunson has that, right? We've seen guys like Kawhi Leonard. They've got that. Kobe, Michael, right? Durant. They have the I know I need a bucket. Here's how I'm going to get a bucket. Shea, we know Shea's going to get to the mid range and go from there, right? Either he's going to get a bucket or get fouled, possibly both, right? Victor doesn't quite have that yet. And I think for San Antonio, at least for me, Ken, maybe I am high on the optimism train, Kennedy Miller. Maybe you finally fully rubbed off on me in being wildly and blindly, hopefully optimistic. Right. But after 3 games, an argument could be made that San Antonio should be up 2-1 right now. Right. In all 3 games, we have had leads under 2 minutes to go, right? All 3 games, we've had double-digit leads in the second half. Well, excuse me, not in game 2, excuse me, right? But different various points of the game, we've had double-digit leads, right? We controlled 2.5 quarters of game 1, right? We controlled most of the game tonight, right? Game 2 was really the Knicks from the middle of the second quarter on until really midway through the fourth, right? But I think we're down 2-1, right? But it easily could be 2-1 the other way, right? But I think, Kennedy, I don't know what you think about this. I think this is finally the part where experience, this is where it's come back to bite us a bit. Because if you really think about it, 3 of our 5 best players all could be playing in the NCAA tournament right now, or could have been playing the NCAA tournament this past March, right? And the Knicks are just that much more experienced, that much more poised, right? Even from the guys on the court to even Mike Brown, the match between Mike Brown and Mitch Johnson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely think that's been the difference. I think that's why it's kind of going how now I was wrong. Like I predicted the Spurs in 6. And it very well still could happen, but you can tell down the stretch of these games who's a young team and who's not. The Spurs offense down the stretch of these games has been bad and like clueless at times. Like I don't know what we're trying to achieve in these things. Like game 1, right? Like you would think coming into this series, like what are our offensive goals? What is our emphasis? It's to attack Brunson and attack Cat. And they're doing that. And then down the stretch of the game, now you're like ISOing and you're like Fox got a dribble handoff with OG guarding them. And like, that's not what we're trying to do. Like that shouldn't be what we're trying to do. Like you're trying to attack Cat and Brunson in pick and roll situations. You can't attack Cat. Like Cat is doing a phenomenal job one-on-one guarding, but like you should be trying to attack in pick and roll situations. Now, tonight, I would say both teams down the stretch looked a little like, what are we doing? Now, big shots were made, but it's like, what is the flow? Like, what are we trying to get into? What are the actions that we're trying to do? And so, like, Cat can't score 11 points. Like, he can't. And I know OG had a really good game because he had 28 points and Brunson's going to do his thing. But Cat, if the finals were to stop, Cat is right up there with Brunson for finals MVP with the job he's doing on Wemby. And you say that, and Wemby has like 32 points tonight. But with the job he's doing on Wemby and then the impact that he's making, and it's like, dude, you can't be one of our top 2 players and finish the game with 11 points. First game at home. It cannot happen. But down the stretch of these games, they know that Brunson is going to take us home, especially like that first game. Like you said, the Spurs controlled most of the game. The Knicks started making a run. Down the stretch, give me the ball and move out the way and watch what I do. And it's like right now the Spurs aren't really confident in that, primarily because Wemby does not have a go-to move, right? He does not have something that he just feels confident in. And if you take this away, then I got the counter to the go-to move. Kevin Garnett talked about this, I want to say this week, maybe last week, he was talking on his show about Josh Smith. And he said in the games, he said he would literally pray the first 3 that Josh Smith takes, he makes it. Like, please make it. And so, like, if he took it and made it, he would be like, man, I can't believe I gave that. Like, he would yell that out loud because I want you to keep taking that. Because, like, you can make it, but you're not putting pressure on me. You're not getting me in foul trouble. You're not doing anything. And so he's like, I realize that I'm going to live with something. I'm going to live with people shooting these jumpers because you're not putting pressure on nobody. And so he was like, down the stretch of the game, you would know that, like, especially if he made one, he's going to take it again. And I would live with that rather than you crossing me over, trying to dunk on me, doing all this stuff. You're going to have to just live with that jump shot. And I feel like when you talk about Wemby settling, a lot of guys settle for it because it's the easier thing to do. I'm not getting I'm not getting this full court pressure. I'm not getting bumped going to the lane because this this final series, I wish the NBA let them dudes play like this all the time. Like they're holding, they're grabbing, it's physical, they're bumping Cat and Wemby or bumping every time down. So like sometimes it feels like him taking a three is like taking the easier route. And so to your point, if he can get something at the mid post, at the elbow, in the post, a turnaround fade, everybody's been posting Al Jefferson this week.
They have.
Everybody's been posting Al Jefferson's post moves this week, saying he needs to get with Wemby, or Wemby needs to get with Al. But if he can have something along those lines, um, that would help him out, and that would help the Spurs out down the stretch. This is a learning experience, and they learn it on the fly. It's their first ever playoff run, much less like getting to this. This is their first ever playoff run, and they're going against a team that has seen a lot and they've been around a lot.
That's the thing. I think I was talking to my dad about this during halftime. Think about how close this Spurs team is right now with how young they are. I think that's the frightening part about it, is the plays at the end of game 2 where you're like, Victor throws the ball off of Castle's back. Like that is and then he fouls him. Like that's a poise thing, right? Some of these other moments where, you're controlling the game, and then it slips through your fingers. That's a poise thing, right? Where it's like, all right, an older team like the Knicks are like, all right, we got down 10, 12. Well, all right, it's a long game, right? I think that's one part of it. And I think the other part for San Antonio has been, and I think you said it, too often in the first 2 games, offensively, the possessions, everything felt clunky. Everything felt really jagged. It felt like everybody was doing a whole lot of watching the ball, right? There wasn't a whole lot of ball movement, wasn't a whole lot of player movement, and really not a whole lot of people putting pressure on the rim, right? Guys not touching paint, and then kick it out and then go from there. It's just, all right, ball, we're just dribble to the perimeter. We're going to take a contested shot, right? And most times they didn't go down. I think game 1, we had 16 assists. Game 2, we had 18 assists. So not terribly better. But tonight, I want to say we had in total 28 assists, right? 28 assists and only 8 turnovers. We didn't turn the ball over either, right? And so I think the other thing I've been thinking about, Lamar, is that other than tonight, like Brunson had 30 points in game 1, but it was 30 points on 32 shots. Like, hey, you got to live with that. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the number of points he gets. It's when he gets those points. Because in game 1, he had a 9-point spurt against Carter Bryant in the second quarter. And then he had that big 13-point spurt in the fourth, right? Like that's 22 of your 30 really in the span of 8 to 10 possessions, right? That's what you can't have. Game 2, he was inefficient again, right? The problem was we were just so bad offensively, we really couldn't capitalize on it. So tonight, Brunson played well, but it wasn't like he lit us on fire. You know what I'm saying, Lamar?
Exactly. And looking at it right now, I mean, he's shot 44%, which is pretty much right around what he normally shoots at. I mean, 32 points and 25 shots. You can kind of live with that there. About to be standard fare and everything. But you can kind of tell that the Knicks went away from what really made them throughout this whole winning streak that they've had, which was, again, Karl Anthony Towns not really being a factor in this game. In the second half, he was 1 for 5 shooting. I mean, he only had those 2 points. He had 9 points going into halftime and only 2 points after that. You cannot really have that. Now, the good thing again is OG shooting the ball well, Josh Hart's shooting the ball well, Brunson's doing his thing out there, but you kind of need to get Cat going and kind of get him more involved into the game and everything else like that, which again, it just did not happen like that for them. And so um hopefully that might be one of the adjustments that they might try to make here, that Mike Brown will probably try to go back into the lab, see what he can possibly do, and try to see if he can find a way to kind of stagger the offense a little bit where Brunson can go off, but also not really forget that Towns is right then and there too, because he's been performing pretty well. And, some of the other guys, Landry Shamet, who had been playing well in the first couple of games, he did not have a good shot in that
Not
game,
good.
even though Clarkson team found a way to kind of rose up a little bit there. So those little things there for the Knicks, and for them to be right there, it says a lot. But again, they just kind of deviated from the plan, and I think that really hurt them a little bit.
No, Landry Shamet was awful tonight. I think he had the lowest plus or minus on the team. I want to say he was like a minus 14 tonight.
-20.
20. Minus 20. Yeah. There was a possession, and the Knicks have had a couple of these. Just beautiful possession by the Knicks. Like the ball is touching the paint, is spraying out to the opposite side. I think they get the ball to Landry, and he goes by Wemby, and you just like lay it up. Like, and it almost felt, I want to say this was like with 4 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
And it almost felt like that was the eraser of like any chance. Now they ended up hitting some shots down the stretch, but like when he got his shot blocked right there, I was like, yeah, that might be it for the Knicks tonight. Because I think Wemby came down, he shot a 3 or he tried to shoot a layup. I was like, if he hits a 3 or hits a layup, it is curtains. It's wraps. And he didn't. But I think Landry did not play well. I thought Deuce McBride came in early and shot like a terrible shot and got subbed out immediately right
Yes.
after that. Like he shot like a step back 3. Like, dude, this is the finals, bro. Like, no, that's not you. What did Patrick Ewing say? Have you ever
taken that shot?
I've never seen you work on that shot. Okay. Jordan Clarkson came in. He gave some pretty good minutes. Alvarado came in and gave some pretty good minutes. But like you said, Lamar, Cat cannot have 11 points. Cannot score 2 points in the second half. Got to find more ways for him to be involved offensively. Brunson is going to be he is who he's going to be, right? Like he's a small, non-athletic guard with phenomenal footwork and tough shot making. That's not always going to be efficient. However, if you leave the game to be close down the stretch, there's not too many more whose hands I want the ball on.
Yeah, that's the part I think for me as a fan watching this. Like we're up 8 or 9, and I am over here sweating bullets because I'm like, unless we get up 15 with 2 minutes to go, then I'll be like, all right, we're done. Game's over. Right. But it was close all the way through because it's like they got like as much as people talk about Brunson and people get in the conversation, is Brunson a star? Is he a superstar? I'll call Brunson a star player because there are other guys around Brunson that you need for this to work. Primarily dudes who are going to like guard and guard well. Right. Like that's the primary thing you need around him. Right. Because you just drop Brunson in there. There are really no guarantees of how great a team will be. I think he raises your floor, but he doesn't like he's not inherently a ceiling raiser, if that makes sense.
I wouldn't say he's a floor raiser. I would say that he raises your ceiling if you have the right pieces around him. Because I mean, we're basically making the same point. If you just drop him on a team, like I think like James Harden is one of the best floor raisers of all time. Like he's always going to get your team to the playoffs. He never misses the playoffs. However, what is the team's ceiling with him as the star? It becomes limited based on his style of play. Whereas Brunson can raise your ceiling a little bit because of his tough shot making down the stretch, his ability to be in the mid range, his phenomenal footwork, all that stuff. He has been like, because I did not believe it. I did not believe in it.
Same.
When he left Dallas, I thought the Knicks overpaid. I said, look at the Knicks being the Knicks again, paying for a guy that's not going to be that guy. And boy, was I wrong. Because, I mean, somebody tweeted it last week, or a couple of days ago, Eli Manning they had said something about Eli Manning and comparing him to Jalen Brunson. And they were like, brother, Eli Manning would get shot right now if he did something to Jalen Brunson in the city of New York. Because, like, to your point, I'm sitting there watching the game and it's a 6-8 point lead and Brunson like it's 3 and I'm like, man, I don't know. Like they better hit both free throws.
Yes.
Castle better hit both free throws. Or like because it's almost like, and I'm sure this is how people felt about, and I'm not comparing him to Michael Jordan, but just like the level of shot making that, like, I'm sure this is how people in the 90s felt about Mike. Like, it's almost inevitable. Like, it's almost inevitable that he's going to make a tough shot. It's almost inevitable if you leave it up to chance, he's going to make something happen. And then you got OG, who's not on the horse tranquilizers anymore, who's having like the playoff run of his life. It feels like every shot that he shoots is going in. Like, he's
Yes.
playing phenomenal this whole playoff run. And I'm like, what? Like, it's been amazing to watch this team. And I feel like I totally undervalued them, underestimated them, and I never thought that they would make it this far.
I mean, I think everybody did. I mean, there's a couple of reasons why, right? Some of it is tangible basketball reasons, right? Your two best players struggle defending people, right? Have been, objectively at different points in their careers, bad defenders, right? We've seen that, right? Brunson, small guard. You're like, can your best player be a small guard who at times could be inefficient, right? Like, how many times have we seen a small guard be the best player on the championship team? Isaiah Thomas, what, Steph Curry?
Very
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not too many.
Like, there's not many. So I'm like, all right. So I think for a lot of us, it's like, is
Yeah.
right? Like, is Brunson in that category of like player, right? And then let's be honest, the other part of this was Carl. Let's be real. Most of us look at Carl and like, oh, that's Carl, right? And
Yes,
and
but
he's been, to his credit, he been doing it. Carl's been doing the job. And I'm gonna say this: when the hell did Carl start doing all that hollering and screaming? When he started doing all of that, I'm like, 'cause he sure wasn't doing that when he was going to work with Jimmy Butler. He sure wasn't doing all of this.
I was just about to say that. Carl is 2 wins away from being an NBA champion. And he very well is not out of the running from being a finals MVP.
Yes.
If he wins an NBA championship and Andrew Wiggins wins Andrew Wiggins has won an NBA championship. Like, Jimmy Butler, is there any type of credit to, like, is Jimmy gonna say, do I need some credit here?
I
For
mean,
instance, some toughness in these dudes?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if Jimmy should get credit because I don't know if they got tough because of Jimmy. I think things happen later, but Jimmy was dead up when he was like, who's the most physically talented dude? Who's the best player on this team? Right. And everybody was like, Carl. Who's the most physically athletic, gifted guy here? Andrew.
Thanks.
Who's the best player
Yeah.
on this team? Me. He's like, right. Like, and I ain't gonna front. Ever since when Jimmy cussed him out and was calling Carl every name he could, right? It was very obvious, like, the way we thought about Carl just totally changed. It became what Carl wasn't. And I think,
Oh, absolutely.
and I think even for me, it's like, I always thought Carl had the ability to be the best player on the championship team, which I think, Ken, you coach. That's why I think we were so rough on him. We're like, because you can do it. Like, you have the ability to do this. For whatever reason, you don't, right? But it's like the way he's played since Mike Brown put the ball in his hand is like, all right, you're going to be the hub. It's going to revolve around you. Like, he's done the thing. He's been much more locked in defensively. He's done the job.
He
And it's
literally,
like,
I want to say he like swiped the ball on like 2 or 3 Wemby's jump shots
yes.
tonight. I'm like, Carl, like, I've never seen this
I've
side
never
of you.
ever seen
I've
act
never
like this
ever
before.
seen this. I like, to your point, Alex, like, those dudes were what, 21, 22 when Jimmy did that? Maybe 23 at the most.
They were like, yeah, because they're both like our age. Yeah.
Yeah, they were young. They were young. They still had some growing to do. Maybe they didn't know everything, but like, they've turned into championship level players in whatever role they're in. Obviously, Andrew Wiggins wasn't the star, but he played a star role when they won in 2022. And Carl is playing a star role in this series now. I mean, you think about it, this dude was a #1 pick too. He don't really have that many flaws in his game as a big. And he said it 2 years ago. Is there an American big man that is a better shooter than him all time?
I think he said he's the best shooting big man of all time.
He did. He did. Now, I wouldn't go that far. But I wouldn't go that far. But I mean, if you just going by numbers, like, it ain't too many bigs that shot 40% from 3 on 7 threes a game in a season that he did. But if you're talking about just American bigs that are all-time shooters, he's one of the best. He's one of the best. And, like, I'm gonna have to apologize to Karl Anthony Towns, just like we did with Sam Darnold. Like, that's what it's looking like is about to happen.
I mean, I think this one is. I feel like it's like, now of course they got to get 2 more games. They got to get 2
Yes.
more.
I don't know. Like, of course, the Spurs had to win this tonight. They had to. But losing both at home, what? And now I'm like you, Alex. You're optimistic, and now I'm being Alex Goodwin. History doesn't favor it.
You know what's funny, kid? You know what's funny about that? I'm trying to be optimistic, but I hear myself being like, "Hey, man, hey," because the problem is, like, it's happened a handful of times. Like, I think when Miami won 4 straight against Dallas, or we've seen these other series where a team wins the first 2. It's happened to San Antonio a couple of times, actually, where they win the first 2 and then lose the next 4. It's happened, right? But the big key there is they didn't lose the first 2 at the crib.
There you go. That's never happened.
Yeah, you lost the first 2 at the crib. Now, I'll say this here. After watching the first 2 games, and even before we came in here to do this tonight, I was like, there's not going to be a game where I think they blow us out. It's just going to be about how we execute at the end of these games. Like, this is going to be close again, I think, Wednesday night. And I'm like, look.
Oh, yeah.
If we can tie this up 2-2 and now it's 0-0, it's now best of 3, best 2 out of 3 now. We've each gotten wins on each other's home floor twice. If that happens, at that point, I mean, if you really think about it with San Antonio, honestly, we're playing with house money. And here's what I mean by we're playing with house money. We ain't supposed to be here. It's a team full of kids.
They not supposed to be there either.
But it's different. It's different. You make a fair point, but it's a bit different there, right? Like, I think it's one thing to be like, all right, none of us thought the Knicks would be here because, there's Boston. I don't know who the hell thought Cleveland was going to make it happen. I'm like, y'all went and got James Harden as a missing piece. You crazy as hell. Okay. Right. So, but I mean, like with San Antonio, we all, and Lamar, you can speak to this. Before the season, I think we did our NBA season preview. We were like, all right, Victor, it's Fox. They got the rest of these young guys. Make the play-in, make the playoffs, out in the first round, and we're cool, right? All of a sudden, you win 60 games, and then it's like, oh, okay. But there was still the thought, they'll probably be out. People thought, all right, probably out against Denver or Minnesota, and then it just became, we'll just see where this takes us, and it's taken us all the way here, right? So I'm like, in my head, it's crazy to think about. Like, if San Antonio wins on Wednesday night, the pressure's all on New York because you let the teenagers tie this thing up and win 2 at home when it's rocking, when there ain't been a finals game since right after school desegregation, right? So, Lamar, I'll ask you this. What are the adjustments that need to be made for the Knicks to turn this thing, to make this thing 3-1?
Get Carl involved into it. That's probably going to be the one thing there. I mean, give him more of an opportunity to make shots like he did in the first 2.5 games. I mean, that was very good. But I think the plan for them that kind of faded away a little bit in the last half. I mean, not shooting the ball well, only giving it to him for 5 shots there. That's something that you need to really rectify there. And also try to maybe get better bench production. If all the other guys continue to perform consistently, I think you're okay in this case because OG is going to give you about 17 points, and he has definitely done that for the last couple of games in the playoffs here. Brunson's going to step up when crunch time, when it matters the most, and either Josh Hart or Mikal Bridges are going to step up, but either one of those two also need to have a consistent game at the same time too. Tonight it was Josh. Game 2 was was Bridges. I think Hart
Good
had
point.
a decent game in game 1, even though he did not shoot the ball well. He was doing every other little thing very well with rebounds, assists, steals, all those different things. So I think obviously it starts with Carl. That opens it up for everybody else there, and that's the thing that they really need to do in order to get to make those better adjustments there.
I was going to say, Ken, for the Spurs, what do you think gets the Spurs a second win and gets and it helps them knot this thing up?
Keep guarding Brunson straight up. Keep guarding Brunson straight up. You have to, like Lamar brought it up, like one of those guys can't beat you. Like, and when I say beat you, they can't have an above their average performance. Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges. Josh Hart has been everywhere. I forgot to bring him up. I don't know how. But extra possessions, they're helping off him. He's knocked down some shots, right? Like, play Brunson straight up. Try and get Cat in foul trouble, which means that Wemby doesn't stay on the perimeter as much, right? You get Cat out the game because of foul trouble. You have Mitchell Robinson in. Anytime it's a dumb down, you take a foul on him and put him to the free throw line. It takes away possessions for them. And your stars got to start. Like Castle played great. I mean, we didn't even bring up that shot. I mean, it was kind of like a grenade pass, but it, that was one of the ones that kind of helped seal the deal, right? In that second quarter, even though the Knicks scored 42 points, Castle was finishing at the rim. He's getting downhill. He's making things happen. Harper, Harper's he struggled today, but I think he's still gonna play well. And then Wemby, your star got to start. Like 32, like this is the standard for him. He can play better. He's gonna have to if we gonna win a championship. Like, because the moment is here now. Like we always talk about it, Alex. Ain't no guarantee for next year. Like them dudes just, they look like the Thunder right now in 2012. Ain't no guarantee for next year though. So strike while the iron is hot. New York's gonna come out swinging. You cannot, Brunson's gonna get his. Like, you just have to make it tough. Don't overreact. Play him straight up. You got great defenders. You got a great rim protector behind you. Play him straight up. Don't let any of those other guys go off. And give yourself a chance, bro.
I was going to say, man, OG putting up 28 on 9 to 12. Hey, you live with that. Like, that's just, you got to
He's just been shooting the ball so well during the
Yeah.
playoffs. The Knicks, this is their first loss since April 23rd.
Yeah, wait, because that was when they were tied 2-2 against Atlanta.
Yes. It's their first loss since April 23rd. It is June 8th. Like, these dudes have been on a roll, man. And oh man, I'm really excited for this series. Like, I'm enjoying it. These last two series, the Western Conference Finals and then this NBA Finals, have it's helping bring some NBA aura back. Cause these dudes are really competing. Like, you can tell Wemby does not want to lose. And that we all know how bad the city of New York wants to win. Like, I'm looking, Olivia Benson is front row.
Dun dun.
Yeah. Shouldn't you be saving somebody from a sex crime somewhere?
I mean, wasn't there a pedophile in the building today?
Oh.
Right? Wasn't there a pedophile in the building today? I mean,
Yes.
wait. I mean, wait. There are two known sex perverts in the building. There's one sitting on the Knicks bench, and I'm not gonna lie to you. You didn't know about Brunson's daddy?
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, man. I mean, when did we start hey, man? I'm just saying, and I think it is wild, the idea, because when him and Fox got into it, Brunson and Fox got into it in the end of the game too, and he said something to Fox, I'd have been like, hey, man, you just sit your nasty ass down before I call the NYPD blue. Straight like that. I mean, why is he here? Right? But, I mean, for me, I think the thing with Spurs that makes it really cool and really interesting is that these dudes are crazy young, but you can tell they care, right? Like you can tell like this means something to them because everybody always talks about college basketball when it means something and they care. And now these dudes get to the league and all they care about is money and they just real nonchalant or whatever. Yeah, that ain't the Spurs. They got a team full of dudes where you can just tell they care. And again, some of that's youth, some of that's emotion, right? Because it always feels like somebody like Castle is right here, close to bugging out on somebody, right? But I think for me, key for San Antonio, aside from the things on the floor that you guys mentioned, is going to be the coaching part of it, right? Like the adjustments that Mitch made and really, I don't think he ran that 54 action nearly as much as he did in those first two games, Ken, where, San Antonio sets those double screens right at the top and Victor's one of those two. Like that worked to perfection against Oklahoma City. But Mike Brown scouted it well. Great guy, in terms of like defensive, strategizing. And Victor's coming off that screen every time Brunson's giving him a bump or somebody's giving him a bump and throwing off that rhythm. So it's like, all right, we got to go to something else to get Victor, at least to me, Ken, in that roller spot, right? Get him easy looks, easy plays. And I really think, how do you, Mitch Johnson, keep yourself like, what's your next adjustment? Right? Like, some people were talking about, well, I'll ask you this, Ken and Lamar. What's the plus sides to playing Brunson just straight up?
It limits everybody else. So like I'm not bringing extra bodies over so to put my defense in rotation. So like I'm playing you straight up knowing that you're a little bit inefficient, right? You're going to take most of the shots, but if I start bringing people over and our defense automatically in scramble, well then like OG's making shots tonight, then it might be OG, Mikhail, and Carl all hitting shots. So everybody's in rhythm rather than it's just you that's bringing the ball up the floor and then you're holding it, trying to make something happen. Well, we are content with Castle guarding you, Harper guarding you, Basel, and you're just going to have to make tough shots over them one-on-one. And like, he's a great player. Like it's not like it's a end all be all. Like, it's always like that Braun and Jokic, like, oh, play him straight up or help and make him a passer. Like they're going to do what they're going to do. Right. What is the best in terms of giving your team the best shot? And I think giving the team the best shot is just play him straight up. Makes a bunch of shots, tip your cap. And hopefully by the time he starts passing, the guys are out of rhythm because they haven't touched the ball.
Very much the way the Spurs at the end played, like those first two games against Oklahoma City. Well, three, they were doubling Shea, and then Caruso was killing us. And they were like,
just play straight up. And then at game 7, Shea has a phenomenal game, but you win the game. Like he scored 35, efficient, takes some tough shots. That's what superstars do. But now guys aren't making shots around him, right? Because you're cutting their water off. Because again, I'd rather have a guy go for 45, 50. How much is your team average though? Like if you score 50 and they score 89, 95 points, we should be okay. Like we should be good. But if you scoring 30 and he's got 15 and he's got 18 and he's got 20 and no, then you cooked. Especially if the game's going to be at Madison Square Garden. They get the momentum of the arena behind them. Oh, it's a done deal.
And that was one thing I was, because it was on the board, we were going to get smashed tonight. Like, coming back 2-0, first finals game there in 50 years. Oh, yeah, we in trouble, right? And then I think, second time in 3 games came out with a good, strong start, leading all 3 times at the end of 1, right? But it's, how do you sustain that, right? As a very young team, right? And really, how do you put these dudes down? Because I think an older team, like if they were playing Oklahoma City right now, Oklahoma City would probably be up 2-1, right? Because Oklahoma City would have closed game 2. Well, I'll say this: they would have closed. Yeah, they would have closed either game 1 or game 2. Oklahoma City would have closed one of those 2 games, right? But then how do you get to your spots? How do you get a bucket when you need it? And I'll just say this for the Spurs. We don't need Keldon Johnson playing serious minutes no more. Okay.
6th man of the year?
Nothing when Keldon Johnson's on the court. Maybe I'm crazy. Nothing looks easy. He's always just buffaloing his way to the basket. Every single time. Like, he stresses me out. I like Keldon. Keldon's a good team guy, the whole thing. Culture guy, right? He was there when we was cheeks, the whole thing. But he's not been good. Like, I'm saying all that tonight, and he was plus 14, plus minus. But I got eyes, damn it. I have eyes. So, quick thing before we get out of here. Predictions for game 3, Lamar. Predictions for game 4. Lamar, who's going to take it?
I go with the Knicks in taking it. I think the crowd is still going to be out there. Maybe you might get some more of the people there if a certain person does not show up. Wink, wink. I think you might get some more of the guys that might be able to show up unless Madison Square Garden prices them out of everything. But maybe you can get some of that energy from outside of MSG. Maybe you might get some of that energy back inside the building. So I think the Knicks will probably get this one. Close one. I'll probably say, let's say Knicks by 5.
I would agree with Lamar. I just don't see them losing both games in Madison Square Garden. I think it's kind of like Lamar said, it's going to go down to it again. I'm not sure if the Knicks can't find a way to, I don't see them not finding a way to close out one of the games at home. So I'm going to go with New York. Selfishly, though, I would love for it to be 2-2 and for the stakes to really be raised in this finals matchup. But I think New York is going to.
Kennedy Miller. I feel like I'm totally I'm like, what
I
would
know
Kennedy
it.
say in this moment? What would Kennedy
know
Miller
it.
say in this moment? Right? Because I ain't going to lie, Ken, when we've talked about it during all these different years we've done the show. We've talked about teams being Hookah. We've talked about teams being Reggie. But I ain't going to lie, what I'm on right now, this is that straight. This that fire right here, string. Okay? This that fire. This would have Bubbles and Johnny doing all them capers for, stealing wood for. This that fire right here. I'm high as a Georgia pine. All right. It ain't the first to 4. Excuse me. It ain't the first to 2. It's the first to 4. And Kennedy Miller, I'm not gonna lie to you. I believe in this young basketball team. I think
You
we can
should.
do.
Alex, I don't want you to do this anymore. Stop saying, "Oh, we're young. We're not supposed to be here."
We're not. We're not.
Alex, y'all won 60 games.
Wait. Hold on.
Yep.
Wait. You know what's crazy about that, Ken? We was on our way to winning 60 games. You said we weren't contenders.
I was wrong. I was wrong. But y'all been a consensus top 3 team this whole year. Y'all ain't the Atlanta Hawks that won 60 games in 2015. You won 60 games with the defensive player of the year. You were favored coming into this finals because we all believe the winner of the Western Conference Finals will be the NBA champ. Pick your team. You should be confident in them. They are one of the best teams in the NBA, and they have been all year. They didn't just sneak up on nobody. This ain't Florida Gulf Coast. This ain't no 16 seed
This
that
ain't
came
George
out of
Mason.
nowhere. Yeah, because I got to get on the heater about this, Alex, because I'm sick of this. Alex said, "Oh well, I've endured so many playoff or so many bad teams and naming
Wait,
all these guys."
hold on. Hey, Ken, let's be real. Once Kawhi Leonard left, man, the dope was stepped on. You go from Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Monty Ginobili, hey man, to all of a sudden, what's back in career, LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan, and then once they're gone, you leave me with Jeremy Sohan.
Cry me a river. This is your 7th NBA Finals watch as a fan of a team. You're 30. People don't do that at 60. So
Kid said I got first world problems.
Yeah, you got first world. I have yet to see an NFC Championship game as a fan. Okay. But you are upset about 4 years when you back in the finals.
Wait, hold on. It was not 4. It was 8. It was 8. It's been 8 years. And look, and I'll say this, Ken. I'll be real. Ken Lamar, I'll keep it real. Those 8 years in the wilderness, I appreciate this a lot more now. I will say that. I appreciate it a lot more now. Because you know how, like, when you were a kid and your mama buy you something, like buy you some sneakers or whatever, and, you know, they're always there, or X, Y, and Z, right? But when you spend your own money as an adult on that same thing, you're like, okay, you value it more. It means more to you. This one actually, like, because what? Spurs won 5 titles. Well, to your point, Ken. 5 titles before I turned 19?
Alex, y'all won 50 games every year till you were halfway into your poli-sci first degree.
Now I'm thinking, I'm like, yep, into my second year of my PhD. Yep, every year. But that's the thing. Once that's the expectation that you're gonna win 50 games, it's like there was never a year up until 2020 where I was every year coming in, Ken. I was like, we're gonna win 50 games, and then depends on matchups, depends on a few other things, and we'll go from there. We'll be good. We'll be fine. But these last it feels different when you go through a couple of 60 loss seasons. I'm like, damn, this is how the other half lives, right? And I'm like, damn, this is the squalor of the bottom end of the NBA. This is what these Pelicans fans been going through. This is what these Hornets fans been going through. I'm sorry, Lamar. I didn't have to hit you with a low blow like that.
You definitely hit them with a straight blow.
You're good.
I mean, they've been sorry, right? So I'm like, but kid, I'm just saying. You're like, I can't be up here talking like we're George Mason.
I'm sorry, I had to get on that soapbox because like this like whole like feel good, like we not supposed to be. Stop it, man. Stop it. Y'all are a good team. Y'all been good all year. Y'all probably the numbers would be better if Wemby actually played 30-something minutes a game. So like, I don't want to hear it that they made it to the finals. Did I expect them? No, because history didn't show it. But this year has shown it. This year has shown that they're a top 3 team in the league all year long. I just think, Alex, and you can definitely pick New York to win. I mean, San Antonio to win game 4. I think losing game 2 will ultimately come back to haunt them. Like you said, you got some stuff that's stepped on right now. Like you on some drugs. I felt the same way. You can't tell me to this day. In 2014, we lost by a record margin.
Yes.
You can't tell me that if LeBron don't get cramps in game 1, we not winning that series. Because I feel like we go up 2-0 and we gonna win that series. You can't tell me. I was watching it. They cut the AC off in San Antonio. He cramped up and we couldn't recover. I felt like we was in control of the game. Game 2, we win the game. He has like 38 points. I'm like, oh, it's 1-1. After that, it
went downhill
so bad.
Yo, that's one of those things where I'm always like, yeah, that game too, man. And I ain't gonna front. Ken, I think I texted you. I was like, Kennedy Miller, the most optimistic person I know. Because we've done this sometimes with different sports things. I'm like, Ken, find some optimism because I have none. Right. And there have been different times you're like, well, Alex, well, there's this. I'm like, all right, I got somewhere I can hang my hat. Right. Somewhere I can be optimistic. I was like, Kennedy Miller, do we have a shot? And you sent me that gift. I was like,
yeah. Losing both at home?
Yeah. That's I think the game too, man. I think Ken, I texted you this as a kid, man. I'm distraught. I said, the way I feel right now, I feel like somebody shot my mammy right in front of me. I was distraught, like real life despondent.
Because it was one thing to like J.R. Smith. He dribbled it out, right? And did not call the timeout. Magic Johnson dribbled out the clock. But it hadn't been an experience. Like, he turned it over and then fouled. Like,
pounded it.
He compounded it by putting them at the free throw line, giving them points by it. And so it was like, oh my. And then you looking at Mitch Johnson, call a timeout. He's telling them to push the ball ahead.
Yo, that's the second time in the playoffs, he's had a moment where he was going to let them play it all the way out. I don't know if y'all remember game 1 of the Minnesota series. We get the rebound. We got a timeout left. And I'm always like, yo, you got a timeout, take the timeout. You can't take the timeout into the next game with you. Use them all. Get a shot you like. They got a shot. They got a wide open 3 for Champagne. He just missed it. This one, I'm like, yo, call a timeout, dribble it out. Either we win it here, we go to OT. Right, like that had to be the thing, right? But he throws it off Castle's back
because it was tied up, right?
It was tied up 104 apiece, and then
call a timeout. Call a timeout because you have to understand, unless you see that you can get something quick. But if you look, there were 3 Knicks already back. Like the Spurs had no advantage because the shot was up. I want to say Hart was already back. Brunson was already back. It was somebody else. But like no Spurs were ahead of the play. So call a timeout because either we gaming these dudes or we going in overtime. But they not touching the ball anymore. Like that's the way that works because it was under 20 seconds.
It was under 12. It was like 10 seconds left.
Yeah, like we are taking the last shot here. They are not touching the ball. And so like I get it, like, you know, especially teams that are really good defensively, you don't want them to be able to set up why you don't call the timeout. But if you ain't got no advantages, and especially with a younger team, but this also with a young coach, call the timeout. Draw something up.
And I think that is the craziest part because the margins on, like, for the Spurs on winning these first 3 games has been so slim, right? Like the point differential in these last 2 games has been 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Been a point differential. And the thing, here's the bad part with the Spurs in game 2. We missed like 8 free throws and lost by 1. Tonight, we missed like 7 or 8 free throws again, but won by 4 because we got a couple more buckets where we needed to, right? So it's one of those things where it's like New York has found different ways to win with different guys. Sometimes, it was Karl in the first 2 games. It was Brunson really late in game 1 that picked his spots. Mikal Bridges had a big game too, right? Shaman gave him something. So for San Antonio, it's going to be like, all right, who's going to be like Champagne? He played great in game 1 first half, but it's been kind of spotty, here and there. The guy I really am like, I need to have a big game, Vassell. Devin Vassell, like he's one of those, he gets rolling. If the jumper gets rolling for Vassell, look out, right? So against my better judgment, Kennedy Miller, like against my conventional wisdom, what I would think, I'm going to go with the Spurs. I'm going to let the dope do the talking for me. I'm going to let the dope do the talking for me, Kennedy, Lamar. I'm going to let the dope do the talking. Okay. And I'll say this and then we got to wrap this up, man. This year has been the most fun I've had watching the Spurs team play basketball. The most fun. The other years we were winning titles and competing for Western Conference Finals, those years weren't fun. Those years were very stressful. Extremely stressful. This has been fun. Next year, this ain't going to be fun no more. This is not going to be fun next year because you only get to be fun for 1 year.
Expectations.
Next year,
that big E word.
Because I ain't going to lie. However this ends up, the expectation for San Antonio will be going back to the finals and winning. No matter how this one ends, the expectation next year is taking the trophy home back to the Riverwalk. That's going to be the expectation. So
for the next 10 years.
Honestly, us and the Thunder, that's, anything short of winning a title is a failure. Like, and it's wild to think about, like, Victor's going to have them LeBron-esque expectations at 20.
With great power.
I mean, but if you think about it, we didn't expect this from LeBron in year 4, did we? Like, we didn't go into year 4 being like, LeBron got to win a title. Or LeBron needs to be, they went to the finals in 2007, and we were all like,
that was year 4.
Yeah, that was year 4. But I mean, going into year 4, we weren't like, LeBron has to get to the finals and win it. That wasn't the expectation.
Because this is Wemby's year 3, right?
Yes, this is year 3.
No, not totally. But I mean, like, It's because he did it though. Well, it's because I'm saying Wemby. It's because Wemby has done it. Like you just talked about it. What were the expectations coming into year 3? Play in, first round exit. So then the expectation in year 4 was like, okay, let's try and get to it would have been, let's try and get to the conference final. Okay, well, you already superseded that. So win championships now. But now you are now going to be the hunted, just like OKC. And the thing about young teams, I feel like NBA, when teams are young, other NBA teams start to make drastic decisions because they see potential dynasties starting to form, right? You talk about the Lakers, Shaq and Kobe. How many big men got paid to be the third big man on the roster because Shaq was coming into town?
Ray
They needed that.
friends.
Right. They needed an extra 6 fouls to give out. Like people are going to start making drastic decisions to try and combat these two teams that look like they're going to be the front runner, especially in the Western Conference for the next 5 to 10 years, which is exciting. It's exciting as an NBA fan. Like what is going to happen? Free agency. What is going to happen? Like what are teams going to do? Or trades going to be made? Like all these things because Wemby has pushed that timeline a little bit further than, or quicker than we thought.
Absolutely, man. We got to get up out of here because it is almost midnight Central Time, June 8th, 2026. So, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't know about y'all. I got to go to work in the morning.
I do too.
And that is another episode of the Game Plan Podcast. Kennedy Miller, my guy. I'm so glad you're feeling better, man.
Man, I'm feeling good, man. It's always a pleasure, fellas. Had a good time tonight. You can follow me on Twitter at _Kennedy Miller _ Again, that's _Kennedy Miller _
All right. Lamar Gafford, SendLawPreps.com. Lamar, let the folks know where they can find your work. Let them know where they can find you on social media. Let them know what you got coming up this fall, man. Talk to the people.
Gotcha. So you can find me on social media at Lamar Gafford, all in one word. On Twitter, that's again at Lamar Gafford. You can also find me on IG at Primetime2832. And we got SendLawPreps.com. We got some stuff that we can try to finish out for all Sinlaw baseball, softball, and track and field, and trying to get ready for the next up and coming football season. So can't wait for that.
All right. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Alex Goodwin TSM. That's on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Alex Goodwin TSM. That's T as in, I'll go turnovers. S as in Spurs, M as in Madison Square Garden. Don't forget to follow the Game Plan Podcast on our official YouTube channel, where if you're watching on YouTube, click that like, share, and subscribe button. Tell 10 friends to tell 10 more friends to tell 10 more friends about the Game Plan Podcast official YouTube channel. Don't forget, also follow us on Instagram at _ the Game Plan Podcast. Again, on Instagram at _ the Game Plan Podcast. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening, we appreciate you guys for listening. For Lamar Gafford and Kennedy Miller, my name is Alex Goodwin. This has been the Game Plan Podcast, and we will see you guys next time. Take it easy.